All right, we're all here, so up on our feet to start in Tadasana today. Good. Just ensuring that our feet are firmly planted underneath our hips. We'll open up the hands, palms are facing forward in order to start opening up that chest, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. We'll start today taking a few deep breaths in through the nose, releasing out through the mouth. You are welcome to keep your eyes open or close them. One more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Allowing our breath to assume its natural rhythm. In through the nose and out through the nose. Starting to just gain a little bit of strength to that breath. Drawing air into the back of the throat and releasing warm energy and air through the nostrils. Slowly warming our internal core temperatures as well as activating our parasympathetic nervous systems. And ensuring dynamic tension throughout our body here, starting with the feet, feeling our feet firmly grounded underneath us, all four corners of the feet making contact on the mat. Doing a quick body scan all the way up through the legs, the shins and calves, into the knees, to the upper thighs, the hamstrings, working our way into the glutes, noticing any sensations, energy, comfort, or discomfort that we may have through our bodies. Continuing our body scan through the pelvis, into the lower back and around the abdomen, up through the lungs and into the chest, shoulders and down through the upper back. Continuing down the arms, through the wrists and into the fingers. And we're drawing our attention to the neck and into the head. Taking a moment to set an intention for today's practice if you wish. Releasing that tension in the arms, allowing the arms to fall at our sides. Bringing our awareness back to the sounds of the space around us, blinking our eyes open, and drawing our hands up towards our shoulders nice and wide. We're going to inhale, lifting the chest, arching the lower back. Exhale, rounding out, making fists and curling our arms and elbows into our sides. Inhale. Breath, filling the lungs. And exhale, curling into a ball, making a fist, tilting the pelvis. Inhaling, opening up. Exhale, round out. We'll do two more of these. Back to neutral on your next inhale. Bringing our hands to heart here. swooping our arms along our sides on the inhale, lifting them up. Exhale, bringing our hands to heart center. Inhale, swooping around. Exhale, lowering to heart center. 3 more. On the next inhale, we'll lift our hands all the way up. Grabbing onto our left wrist, and we're going to do a side bend here, elongating the entire rib cage, not collapsing. Lifting up and then bending. You may only bend 1 inch or even 2. That is fine. We want to draw air into the side body, activating that left shoulder. Trying to keep our heads neutral with the spine. Breathing air into between each rib. 2 more breaths. Come back to center, lower the hands, swooping all the way around on the inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Repeat. Two more. Inhale, lifting those arms all the way up. Grabbing onto the right wrist and bending into the left side body. Again, elongate, pressing through, opening up the rib cage. Drawing that right shoulder blade back towards the spine. Trying not to collapse over to the left. You should feel the rib cage opening sideways. One more breath here. Come back to standing. Hands to heart. One more swoop all the way up. And hands to heart. Good. We're going to come all the way into a wide stance here. Wide-legged stance, 5-pointed star. Hands are nice and wide. This time, drawing those shoulder blades together as we lower the elbows. On the exhale, inhale, lifting up back to our 5-pointed star. Exhale, taking a look at those knees, keeping the pelvis underneath the hips. Repeat here. Connecting our breath with our movements. And slowly warming up the entire body. One more. And this time hinging at the hips, scooping forward. Coming all the way up on the inhale. Scooping. Nice sunflowers here. Going to the speed of our breath. Hinging at the hips so as not to round out the lower back. Two more. Holding here, straightening those legs, slowly pointing the toes forward. We're up on our fingertips or flat hands. Again, we want to get a tiny little back bend so as not to round out the spine. We have blocks and bolsters if you need, or widen the stance of our legs so that we're not rounding out the lower back. We can lower our heads here, chin to chest, nice and long there. Just feeling a little stretch in the back of those legs. Two more breaths here. Good. Coming up on the fingertips, we're going to pivot ourselves around to the right and lower down into a low lunge. Good. Flattening that back foot. Great. Bringing our hands up on top of our knee for support. Lifting the chest on the inhale, slowly lowering into that hip flexor to open up. Trying not to collapse, we're continuing to engage the left glute as well as that quadricep. Two more breaths. On the next inhale, we'll rise up. Exhale, sinking backwards into our hamstring stretch, pressing that right heel out. And you may want to stay up on your fingertips. Again, we're hinging at the hips, keeping the hips forward facing. Elongating the spine. Feeling the back of that hamstring open up, keeping the toe flexed. Foot is flexed, toes are pointing to the ceiling. You may even feel this come through the calf muscle. Breathe through it. If the breathing is labored, you may be pressing into it too hard. Just back off a little. One more breath here. Pressing forward, coming back up into a lunge, and we'll pivot all the way over to the left, walking the fingertips, lowering our right knee down, flattening that back foot, bringing our hands up onto our knee. Great. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, sinking into the hip flexor. Keeping our right glute engaged. A gentle back bend. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, sinking back, hinging at the hips. Pressing that left heel forward or walking it out on the mat. Flexing the left foot, connecting our breath with that motion, sinking deeply into it with every exhale. And just bringing awareness to any new sensations you may be feeling, any tightness, any opening or sinking into the stretch. Sensations you may not have felt last time you were in this stretch. Keeping our necks in alignment with our spine. Inhale, pressing forward. Coming back into a wide-legged stance. Toes are pointing forward. Good. Let's plant our left hand down in the center underneath our face, opening up that right arm above the body, either placing the hand on the hip or all the way out, extended over the top of the body, gazing towards that right hand. Breathing energy, drawing it through that left hand, all the way from ground to sky. Gentle twist of the spine. Again, just stretching out the back of the hamstrings, the inner thighs. Pressing our shoulder away. One more breath here. On the next exhale, lowering that right hand, placing it over top of the left, and lifting that left arm up over top of the body. Gently pressing into the ground, stretching the inner thigh of the right leg, the hamstring of the left. Reaching as high as we can, or if you're taking care of a shoulder or an arm today, just lower down that hand to the hip. One more breath. And on the exhale, lowering the hand down. Good. Bending those knees. We're slowly going to come into all fours. I'm going to wiggle my feet in and then lower down the knees underneath the hips. Resetting ourselves, yes, on top of our mats. Good. So do a cat-cow here. We'll do 5 normal cat-cows. Our feet are flat behind us. The hands are splayed out, nice and wide underneath the shoulders. Knees are directly under the hips. On the inhale, we're drawing our shoulder blades together, looking up, sinking to lower back. Exhale, rounding out, looking towards the back, feet, lowering the chin to chest. Repeat this 4 more times. Going to the power of your breath, whatever speed suits you best. Coming back to neutral here. Again, we're going to look back, tail wag, but we're not going to shift the hips. The goal is to look back, scrunching up the side of the body here, looking back towards the foot, but just trying to keep the pelvis underneath us, square, facing forward. Breathing air into the side body. And reset back to neutral. We'll do that one more time. Scrunch up. This time our head will look the opposite direction. We'll do each side 3 times. Reset back to neutral. 3rd time here, scrunching up into the one side. Turning our head back to the opposite shoulder. This time, we're averting our eyes back towards the scrunched side. creating new neural pathways in our minds. Stay with it. 2 more breaths here. I know your head wants to follow your eyes. Pull it back. And reset to neutral. Go ahead and give yourselves a nice little circular motion here. Shake it out. Changing directions. Shifting the weight, hands to knees. At whatever speed works for you. And come back to neutral. We're going to scrunch up onto the opposite side. So again, really trying to anchor the pelvis down as we scrunch up and look back towards our foot. Breathing naturally and normally. You might be feeling a little bit of a stretch running along the lower back. Try not to press too hard. We're not creating stress today. We're trying to counteract all of the negative effects of stress on our bodies and minds. And reset to neutral here. The next time we're scrunching up, let's look towards the opposite shoulder. Try not to sink to one side with your hips. Scrunching but looking in the opposite direction. And reset. Last time, scrunch up to the side. Head goes towards the opposite shoulder, but the eyes come back. Try to keep your head and your chin facing that opposite shoulder. And reset. Come into a full cat-cow series. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round out. We'll do 2 more. Good. Curling the toes underneath our shins. Deep breath in. And we're pressing up into down dog. Shifting our weight left to right, we'll pedal the feet, bending one knee at a time, working our heel towards the mat. Bringing the feet together, pressing both heels back towards the mat. Just bringing our attention and our awareness to any sensations in the back of the body. Elongating the spine from tailbone through to the crown of the head. And feeling our heads nice and heavy. Loose necks. And we're going to lower all the way down into child's pose here, grabbing our block or a pillow or something, putting it underneath our forehead. I'm just going to wake up that vagal nerve here in the forehead. Comfortably on our forearms, and just turning the head left to right, stimulating that nerve, increasing our memory and our mental awareness. Sinking our hips back towards our heels. Feeling a gentle stretch in the hip flexors as well as the quadriceps. And finding a neutral place here, you're welcome to lower or remove the block. Stack your fists or your hands on top of one another. Bringing our attention back to the breath, noticing where it comes into the body, that rising and falling sensation in our ribs and our abdomen. On the next inhale, we'll lift our heads up, pressing up with our arms. And we're going to come into a happy puppy. Puppy pose, so it's walking those hands to the end of the mat. The hips are still stacked over top of the knees. We're sinking down, mounting the arms towards the mat. And either resting the chin or the forehead on the mat, depending on what feels accessible for you today. Mounting the arms, the shoulders, the chest, all the way to the mat. On the inhale, we pull our torso forward, lowering our bellies all the way down to the mat, shifting our hips, finding a nice gentle position. And we're going to walk our hands underneath. So let's thread the right hand underneath. The left arm goes over top. We're going to play with the hand position today, either reaching and palms facing down, or you may want the palms facing up, depending on how it feels in that front left shoulder and arm. Slowly lowering the chin over top of the arms. Lifting the head, extending the left arm all the way out from the shoulder this time. Right hand comes up into chaturanga on the fingers or on the palm of the hand. Chin is going to come onto the mat to start. We'll lift our right leg off the mat and then slowly rotate so that the foot comes behind us, and now we're looking to the right. Find whatever position works. We're opening up that left pectoral muscle, the left arm. Gentle twist of the spine. Work your arm and your body around until you feel a good stretch for yourself. Pressing that right shoulder away. Still opening up the chest. Trying to relax the head so that the neck isn't tense. On the next exhale, we'll roll back onto our bellies. Lowering that leg down to the mat and following with the chest. From here, we're extending our arms, so the left arm is going to thread all the way underneath, right arm is over top, either palms facing down or up, depending on what feels best for you. And slowly lowering the chin over top of those arms, sinking into it gently. Drawing awareness to any sensations, tightness, or light areas we may have. Slowly lifting our heads up, bringing that right arm and extending it out from the shoulder, lowering our chest, bringing the left hand onto the side, lifting our left foot, rolling over onto that right chest, opening up, touching our foot down or just allowing it to float over top, pressing as hard as you need in order to get a stretch. And again, just drawing our attention to the breath. Noticing the speed of each inhale and exhale, that you're not pushing too hard. And we're relaxing our heads here, releasing any tension so that the head is hanging nice and loose and laying flat on the floor. One more breath, and we'll exhale and roll out of this. Slowly lowering the knee down. Good. Great. Reaching both of our hands back. We're going to grab onto our heels, our ankles. Gently pulling our heels into our glutes, lowering our chins to the mat. Feeling a gentle stretch of the quadriceps here. Letting the lower back find its neutral position. On the next exhale, you are welcome to rise up, pressing the ankles into the hands, engaging the glutes, trying to keep the knees in alignment with the pelvis, drawing the shoulder blades back, lifting the chest, breathing into the chest to open up the heart center. Neck is neutral with the spine. 2 more breaths here. Releasing nice and gently. Allowing the chin to come back down to the mat. The shoulders fall away from the ears. Drawing our hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press back into another child's pose. This time with our knees a little bit wider. So I'll walk the knees out to the edges of the mat. The toes can be touching. And again, you're welcome to use your block or stack the fists or your hands, depending on how open your hips are feeling today. next exhale, we'll press ourselves up with our hands. Come in to a Shavasana position seated. We're going to try to keep our knees stacked on top of one another to start here. You may have to wiggle around a little to get comfortable. Whatever position works for your body today, depending on where you might have tightness. I'm going to bring my block out front just in case I need it. We want to really arch the lower back as we hinge forward, trying to root through. So both of those sit bones are going to stay on the mat. This may be as far as we can get today. You are welcome to slowly sink into this stretch and this hinge of the hips, ensuring that we keep our sit bones grounded into the mat. Lowering our chin to chest, elongating the spine. Consciously releasing any tension in our shoulders and arms. Nice deep breath in, and when we exhale, we'll press ourselves up. Extending our right leg all the way to the edge of the mat. Tucking the left heel in. Once again, we can keep our block close by. Try and get our elbow down to our thigh or even to the shin, drawing the left arm up. And if it's too difficult on the shoulder or the arm, we can bring that left hand onto the head. But again, we don't want to be crunching into that right side body. We're going to elongate the spine, reaching up, sinking over to that right leg, keeping the toes pointed up to the sky. And again, our sit bones are grounded. We can support our head with our right arm, drawing that left shoulder blade up, drawing air into the side body. Two more breaths. Feeling heavy in that left knee as it presses away. And exhale, come back up. Repositioning our feet here. Drawing the right leg underneath, the left leg over top, or whichever way you were the first time. Do the opposite. Wiggle around until you feel both sit bones firmly rooted in the mat, and then slowly hinge forward, extending the hands, elongating the spine, and slowly lowering chin to chest, walking the hands out as and when you're ready. Notice any different sensations on this side that you may not have had on the other. Releasing any tension in the upper back, shoulders, and neck, and allowing the head to hang long and heavy. Pressing back into those hips. Deep breath in through the nose, and on the next exhale, we'll press ourselves up. Good. Extending the left leg this time, flexing the foot, pointing the toes up to the ceiling. And we'll do a gentle side bend, again elongating the rib cage up, reaching, using our left arm as support, feeling that right knee drop very heavy. Shortening the lever if needed, drawing that right shoulder blade back and really opening up. You should be feeling this through the right side body as well as along and around the lower back. Deep breath in and release out of that on the exhale. We're slowly going to lower ourselves down onto the mat into a restorative bridge pose. So you can take your block either tall or shorten it depending on which feels most comfortable for your spine. We'll do 3 different poses here. The first one will just be normal bridge. Again, restorative. We want this sacrum on top of the block or a blanket or pillow. The second pose, you are welcome to the variation of a butterfly. And then third, we'll stack our feet over top of the hips. So starting in just a normal restorative bridge, feet and knees are hip-width apart, allowing the sacrum to rest on top of the block. The glutes are hanging off of the edge. Palms are facing up. Drawing our shoulder blades down the mat. Gently opening up the pelvis area. Drawing our attention to the psoas muscle, the pelvis, the space in our body where all of our emotions and the roots of all of our systems starts. You're welcome to place your hands on your belly to draw additional awareness to that area. And when and if you're ready to move your feet into butterfly pose, you are welcome to. As a variation that may be more comfortable for you. If you're directly on the mat, you can also cushion the underside of your thighs and knees, propping them up with a pillow or a blanket, towel even. We're trying to maintain our focus on the present moment, even if this position might be distracting or uncomfortable. We want to find a pose that's comfortably uncomfortable, but that also helps us open our hips and bring attention and awareness to this part of the body. Enabling our healing powers from within. 3 more breaths here. On our next exhale, we'll close up the legs, drawing the knees together. And you're welcome to stack the legs over top of the pelvis here, relaxing the feet, stimulating our lymphatic system, and aiding in the circulation of our blood towards our hearts. And of course, if this isn't comfortable, you're welcome to come flat into supine, Shavasana. Wiggle the feet around, you can roll the ankles, point and flex. We'll be here for about a minute. You can always maneuver the block or your bolster, depending on your level of comfort. From here, we'll come into a plow pose, so lowering the knees towards the chest, extending the legs all the way beyond the head, walking the shoulder blades up so that you're resting on your shoulders with a loose neck. I will use my hands as support against my back. And then slowly remove the block for when I come back down. And again, that block could even be placed underneath the toes if you're not able to touch the ground. Chin is to chest here. Try to press the knees up towards the ceiling. Identify any new sensations. Dynamic tension in the legs. Drawing the navel towards the spine, and the chin is rolled into the chest. Breathing as naturally as possible. Two more breaths here. Lowering the knees to the forehead. Slowly lowering ourselves out of this. One vertebrae at a time. Lowering back down onto the bed. Good. Coming all the way down into Shavasana. And for those of you that would like to stay on for our 10-minute Satanama, you are welcome to. Otherwise, when you're finished your Shavasana, you can roll up nice and gently, come back to reality. We'll take a moment here just to reflect on any intention we may have set at the beginning of our practice. With smiles on our faces, we take our moment to be grateful and to feel appreciation for something or somebody. The ability to practice our community. And drawing our feet into our glutes. We'll gently roll over to the side and press up. And those of us doing our Satanama, we will get into a comfortable seated position. And I will start the 10-minute meditation. So the Satanama, we're going to use our fingers. Sa-ta-na-ma. Sa-ta-na-ma. We will sing loudly, quietly, and then in our heads, quietly, and then loudly again. Goes for about 10 minutes. And the reverberation as well as the finger senses, all stimulates not only the parasympathetic nervous system, but our minds. It clears toxins and stimulates all good things in our bodies. So I will sit up on my block in order to ensure nice deep breathing into my belly. So with our eyes closed, back of the hands on our knees. When you're ready. tension through the mouth. One more time. Bringing our awareness back to the sounds and the sense of the space around us. Drawing our hands to heart center. Blinking our eyes